this computer. Okay, and I'll go through all logistics and all that stuff, but we all carved out time. I carved out time of my life to create a container, and you all carved out time of your lives to come into spiritual practice, into an energetic attunement with not only with yourself, most of all, but the multi dimensions of yourself, to receive and listen to these chants that are beyond time and space, and then attune yourself to the frequency of that inside yourself. Like, what is underneath the surface of my own being that I can sense? This is something that I wrote in the email yesterday. I know it's here, but I'm just like, I'm like, how do I? And I don't want to dig. I just want to. I just want to call it out of me. I want to invoke it, and which we're going to be talking a lot about the art of invocation. And I invite you guys to ask me questions. We'll have time for that. But now, what I want to do is I want to read what I posted in the chat, and then I want us to move our bodies. Can I ask a question? Is everybody feminine identified? Do we have any binary people? Because we're all a group of women biologically, but I just want to, I want to ask, is everybody feminine identified? Raise your hand if you're feminine identified. Raise your hand if you are multiple identified. What? Okay, we do. Okay, cool. So my language might be talking about the part of you that is feminine identified, if that makes sense, because I use the vernacular of Shakti, and there's going to be both Shakti and Shiva, and we're going to be able to dance between those. But I'm so glad I got that transmission to like specifically ask, because I want to play in that realm and take what part serves you and put down the part that doesn't, for whatever parts. So the feminine in her embodiment likes to move through using the Shakti energy and allowing that to move through you. So we're going to do a little bit of embodiment work for two reasons. One of them is because we all came from some kind of a day, and the day had its own tone and frequency. And part of this container is cultivating a rhythm and a time for spiritual practice. This Ganesh mantra, he just kind of jumped in today, last minute. It's not a mantra I was planning to teach, but Ganesha, and I'm going to share a story about that in a moment. Ganesh is this elephant-headed deity, and Tara's got a little statue of him. Perfect. He is this deity that is bound to the beginnings of things. So we always start a chant or a practice or a prayer or a kirtan session. People chant to Ganesh for good luck, for remover of obstacles. So we're going to dance to him today, and we're going to call him in. And the words, so you can move them through your being while we're dancing, is Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha. And I have the meaning here. It basically means elephant-headed deity, you're amazing, and I bow to you. I take refuge in your name, in who you are. And I'm going to tell a story about how I actually got to see Ganesh as a force, but I'll do it after we move. So imagine for a moment the part of you that is a freaking elephant. That is like a large, like really large being, like infinitely large, like a force of nature. What part of you is a force of nature? And elephants are wise, and they have memories, and they have family, and they cry when they lose. Yeah, and so imagine you're in the jungle, or you're just like invoking, and just move. Or you're just celebrating life. Or you're celebrating the end of the day that you just had. Ganesha Sharanam Ganesha. And take all of that energy that does not serve this moment, this next 75 minutes together, and just like allow it off of your body. Oh. Make an elephant sound, like a little roar, like because you guys have to, you hear me, but you don't hear each other, so you can make all kinds of noises, which is wonderful. Oh, I love seeing some of the trunks sway. I see that. Oh, big. And take your feet. Ganesha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. The other song with Ganesha is called Ganesha's Belly Dance. So feel your belly and your root chakra. And we're going to ask collectively with this prayer, we're going to ask for the removal of obstacles. May there be grace infused in our being, infused in our collective journey together. May we feel the power of these forces, of these archetypal deities and transmissions move through us that are bigger than us. Allow them to infuse our own Shakti, our own power. Allow us to attune to these gigantic, gorgeous, beautiful beings that these mantras name, these cosmic forces in the universe. Aho. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Let's all say that together, even though you guys can't hear me. Om
Om
Gam
Gam
Ganapataye
Ganapataye
Namaha. You
Namaha.
guys, can you feel like, let's just dive into transmission right away. This is not what I planned on teaching, and this is what's happening. I love it. Gam. Everyone say gam.
Gam
Where do you feel that in your body?
Gam chest.
You feel it in
Yeah,
your
or
chest?
a little like here.
Wow, everyone feels it in their heart. It's beautiful. Root chakra is what the Ganesh is. Attuned with. Hold on, my microphone. He's attuned with the root chakra. When I say the word Gam, I can feel the weight. I can feel the energy of the earth. And for some of us, some of you guys have been my clients or are my clients or etc. We're not completely grounded all of the time. So all of you in your heart, you guys are like, oh, I feel it in my heart because you're all, yeah, I know a lot of you and you're all very heart conscious, loving, beautiful Shakti beings. I'll use the word Shakti a lot. I have to apologize for that. But, and, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Let's bring it down a little bit. Say that with me, with the quality of earth in your voice. Om Gam
Gam
Ganapataye
Gamapataye
Namaha.
Namaha.
Namaha is I bow. So let's say that one more time and like think of that quality of reverence. It doesn't have to be the elephant-headed God that you're bowing to. There's no religious context. It can be whatever, it could be your cat. It could be the love that you have for your cat that you're just like, I bow, but it's a reverence, whatever brings up that reverence for you. And the definition of Shakti is the force. It's identified as feminine of energy that animates all of life. And Shiva is the inert force of consciousness. And consciousness needs Shakti in order to birth life. And the Shiva and Shakti, Shakti as Parvati, came together and they created Ganesh, which is what we're speaking about right now. So let's invoke the element of earth. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. To you I bow. I can feel you guys a little bit deeper. Do you feel that? Do you feel that? And don't just say yes if just to humor me. But do you feel like kind of the weight of that, of like when you intend, this is like the dual reason of teaching this course, is Sanskrit is a magical language where sounds are infused with meaning, multiple meanings. It's multidimensional, and that's what makes it magical to itself. When you know those meanings, two things happen when you pray these mantras. One of them is that we get to imbue these qualities of these archetypes, which are these deities that exist in our microcosm of our collective unconscious, and also in the universe. They're forces of nature. The story that I wanted to tell about Ganesh is I was in an ayahuasca ceremony. For those of you who are open to plant medicine or not, I am, and I was in an ayahuasca ceremony. And I was with the shaman. I was seeing, I saw it before I heard it. I saw the ceiling open up, and I felt this gigantic being. And I felt its presence. It was larger than the sky. It was magnificent, and I was like, something is up there. I couldn't see it with my visual eyes because my intuition is very clairaudient and very sensing, and less clairvoyant. I see things, but it's less, and So I was like, wow, that's magnificent. And the shaman, who I karmically know so well, he goes, Gam Ganapata. He goes, Ganesha, like to the force. And I was like, no fucking way. Like, sorry for cursing, but I was like, oh, I see it. And his song, the shaman, now here's another lesson. The shaman sung, Ganesha. It was like it happened and he saw it. And he brought him into the ceremony. I bring you down even more. You're here. Your presence is here. I invoke you. I invite you into this space. This is shamanic work. This is the power of prayer and medicine and mantra and chanting. I got to witness that, and it was very holy. It was very cool because it was one of those things where you can't make it up, It was a beautiful spiritual experience, and I didn't know. I haven't thought about that for years, and I was thinking about writing a book, and it was like, what stories are you going to tell? And this actually, when I was doing this course, writing this course, this story kind of came out, and I forgot about it again. I put it down, and then today, as I'm preparing this Ganesha, he comes in again. Beautiful, beautiful being, beautiful deity, and in the beginning of my um, yoga teaching journey, this force of Ganesha just initiated me into being a teacher, and he's a very friendly deity. So again, we're not technically, I have a different mantra for us to study this week, but you're going to get a lot in this course. I just want to tell you, because this is my bag. And I'm teaching mantra, and we're learning about mantras, and this is awesome. And it's a ruse. It's a guise for me to give you multidimensional transmissions that I don't even know how to name, that are on the brink and cutting edge of my learning as a teacher and as a student of this work that I'm here committed to just in my whole soul. And for those of you who've worked with me one-on-one, you understand the way that I work. It's just like, oh, this out of the sky. Here you go, is your soul. Here's your soul reflected at you. Oh, you didn't know? Oh, we're going over here. Ancestral. Okay, over here. Da, da, da. Like, this is how I teach. This is how I work. You guys are very familiar with my content, most of you. And so I know you can follow me when I speak. I'm going to try my best to do my mature speaking and do spaces. But I also get really excited about this work and what I'm doing. And I'm just like, oh, I love God and spirit and all the things and all the deities and all the archetypes. So there's that. So let's talk about housekeeping for a moment for the course itself. I'll give you what we're going to do for the structure of these calls is we'll do some kind of invocation, prayer, embodiment work. I'm going to do an attunement in a moment. That's going to do like the seal of the container. Because, there's a couple ways to start. We can start with boom, and then there's the like, and I'll sing the Asato Ma mantra, which is the prayer that we're learning this week. A half hour of each call is going to be dedicated to you guys for sharing. And I want you guys to get to know each other, because I know, and it's so cool to do this kind of stuff with these groups and these containers and stuff, because you guys have you all have a very, like there's a resonance in the types of women that you are in your soul qualities. The specific magic, it's very refined, spiritual, tender, innocent, and powerful gift. And it's really beautiful to have all of you here. I just really just honor each one of you. I feel like I've seen more, some of you more than others, but I know what I can see with my higher self where you're at on your spiritual paths. And I feel completely honored and in service I bow to each, Namaho, to bow to each of you, to have the opportunity to share something, my 10 years of 10 years plus, probably lifetimes of doing, cultivating this work, and offer those to you in service to your soul and your path, and have you take them to whoever you may meet on your walk, because some of you are teachers and healers yourselves. So it's a namaha, I bow to you, I bow to you. And I love Sanskrit, and I'm so grateful to share this. So I will do an invocation in the beginning of the call. I will do a bit of teaching. Again, we'll see what the universe decides of the transmissions that are meant to be shared, that really don't even have name yet, but we are all ripe, meaning that I will say things that will intuitively plant seeds that will awaken things that you already know in your soul but have not given name to in your consciousness. And therefore, my reflection is allowing you to also birth that into a new reality space. And I want to talk, I'll do the teachings, but I'll do it in a minute, about co-creation, about law of attraction, about birthing new consciousness, all of those things. Yeah, and I think I said everything else about the world is going so fast right now. I don't know if just me, but the world is going so fast. So giving yourself this opportunity to tune in and to create space, because here's the housekeeping part. I know I've said this in all the material, but I want to just speak it here because I think it's important. I'm giving you guys will have an email after this call, and the email will tell you things, whatever we talk about in the call, give a synopsis, and it'll link you to a web page. Web page is password protected and it's on my site, and you'll have the videos for the content for each week. And they're really good, if I do say so myself. They're these really beautiful nuggets of like cerebral wisdom, different than the live call transmission, but it's like, it's really rich, yeah? And then and then I have Spotify tracks from my favorite, oh, can I talk louder? Sure. I'll bring the microphone closer to me. How's that? Can you hear me now, Carrie? Yes? Yes, okay, great. I have Spotify tracks from my favorite artists for those mantras that you guys can listen to. And you can take one, like listen to one, a new one each day. There's like 5 this week. I have a recording of myself doing it that I'm actually going to upload. I'm going to record it after this call because I had a vision, because I listened to the one that I had recorded previously and I was like, meh. And then I was like, oh, do it after the call because it'll be all like things. So I'm going to record that so you can listen to my version of the mantra. What else did I want to share with you? So the point is to be in communion, like communication, receiving and listening with this mantra this week. And this is the cool part. Mantra has a meaning. You're going to learn that in all the stuff. And what's going to happen in your own being, like what will get invoked from that particular mantra. That's the medicine. That's why I said it's like there's 2 planes of consciousness. Like, yes, this mantra asatoma means lead me from ignorance to truth, but what does that mean for your spirit at this moment? And then that's what I want to like you to be bubbling, to be in practice with. This is the initiation, this is the spiritual practice. And then next week, let's talk about what came up for you during this thing. That's the through line in the container. That's how we're going to create, like, I'm in a container where I'm actually practicing. It's my spiritual practice, because life is like 9 million miles an hour. And I love freaking yoga, but man, I'm like down to 1 hour, 1.5 hours of yoga per week. And I should be doing that per day. You know what I mean? Like, so part of my desire for this container like a month ago when I was making it was like, I want to create a thing where we're like practicing together, you know, but we get to do it on our own time because nobody, you know, so, and then we come together and it's like a check-in. How are you doing? What's coming up for you? Some of you know, some of you've worked with me. I'm a coach. So, and the other thing that I thought of just now, I'm going to create a Telegram group. There's a link to it that you guys can join. You can download the app and you can ask each other questions. some of you guys are coaches and intuitives and healers, so like, yes, ask me stuff, and I would love for you guys to like, don't be like, you know, keep your ego in check, obviously, you know, but like help each other, you know, inspire each other. That would be a better way to say it. Inspire. If you have something to share and it comes from your soul, offer it to your sister. There's that like whole consent thing, like to do, I hate that language. I'm in John Wineland's Containers, Michelle's in there with me, where they're like, may I comment on something that you shared? I don't need that. I just like, check in with your heart and share it. It's like if it needs to be shared, you know. If you guys want to do the consent thing, we could do that, but it's like too much for me. It's just like, my soul wants to speak this. And then you can take or leave whatever it is. What other agreements did I have for us? I had something else for agreement. Oh, if you have a problem with me or something about my personality, or I'm not doing something right, message me directly, please. And let's talk about it. Like straight up, like if I'm talking too fast or you need me to slow down or you're feeling left out of something, just voice it to me. I'm a new teacher. Well, I'm not like a new teacher, but I'm always learning. And so I'm open to feedback. Again, check in with your heart. If it's real and it can serve, I'm totally welcome to receiving that. Don't put it in the group space and don't put it in the Telegram just for, you know, just make it sacred by creating like a container around it. And everything that is shared here, these calls are recorded, so they're going to be, I will use my discernment and I will ask your permission if I'm going to put anything of yours online for social media, but they are recorded, so there might be something that gets shared. But if it's something personal, I will use my discernment, check in with my heart, and ask permission before doing that. Other than that, everything in integrity is going to be sacred to this container, and closed captioning, or whatever we say with that, closed. Do we all agree to that? And could the women who are off camera just for a second, because I'm going to ask you to raise your hand or you can type in the chat, do we all agree to those, that container, the rules of the container? Yes, everyone does? Okay, cool. Ryland, if you can type in the chat. I don't know if you're driving or what you're doing, but okay, cool. Okay, beautiful. And let's go into attunement. Does anyone have any questions on what I just shared? If not, I'm going to hit the sound bowl.
Rylan asked in the chat if you could give a definition of Shakti.
Oh, yes. I said it. It's the, Shakti is energy. Energy is feminine, which is when we get into the binary, non-binary conversation, it becomes kind of tricky. The like the inert, like consciousness, like the unmanifest. This is going to be like something we talk about a lot, by the way. The unmanifest reality, which is like what Deepak Chopra talks about as pure potentiality, which is what everything that we see in this world is created from, is void. Pure potentiality means that it's like pregnant, but it's nothingness, yeah? Shakti is that spark of life that animates, that makes the nothingness, from the uncreated, a tree. That becomes feminine. That's the stance. So then there's like the nothingness, it's masculine, and then the somethingness, the energy, the crazy, yeah, this me, but I'm like, I'm a feminine, what, you know, is everything, yeah? And the roping of these two, that gives birth to the universe, or them making, Shiva and Shakti making love to each other constantly. I have a necklace that has the caduceus on it, and we have the caduceus within us. I'll make a note to send you guys this PDF that's attached to one of my downloads. Maybe some of you have it, where it's got the two snakes. It's the Ida and the Pingala, our masculine energy and our feminine energy. And every place that those snakes cross, there's a chakra, there's a portal. Yeah, it's so dope. You guys, I'm going to be like dropping balls. I'm so excited. Thank you for being here so I can share all of this that I love. Speaking of love, let us tune in, let us listen for a moment. So, this is something that you guys can ask me questions on later. The art of attunement. I would love to be able to teach you guys how to do this, yeah? But for now, let's just receive it. And then if you have questions on it, then you can ask me. I'll open up the call for questions in about like 15 minutes. Okay. So this is for you. So close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Think about those questions that were on your heart that were in the email. And like what that call was, that inner call for you to be here. And let's begin. Asatoma Maya Maritiorma Maritam Maya Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Yotirgamaya Marityarma Maritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Yotirgamaya Marityarma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti. 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 Lead me from darkness to light, from ignorance to truth, from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace. It's one of the oldest mantras in the Upanishads. From an Upanishad called The Wisdom of the Great Forest. We birth everything in our life through intention. I feel like saying that again. We birth everything in our life through our intention. I want you to take inventory for a moment and think of the things that are in your life that you have prayed into your life, that you have wished into your life. Things that were not there 6 months ago that are there now, that you have invoked into your life. Just feel joy in your heart for those things. Just feel that. Like, I manifested those things. And I am a huge person who's like, my assistant is here, my assistant is Ryland, and she's like really in law of attraction. This is part of this birthing process. This is some of the teachings that came through to share with you guys today. Because I've recently gone through a shift, I feel. The shift was from, can I please speak louder? Can you not hear me? Can you hear me okay? Can some of you hear me and some of you not? Question.
I can't hear you very well at all. I'm struggling to hear you. I don't know if it's, I have my volume on the top volume setting and I'm on an iPad.
Yeah.
It might be me. I don't know, but I don't have, if you could do anything, that would be awesome.
Okay, I'll do my best.
When you're in the microphone, it's much better.
Okay.
It makes a difference.
Let me just double check. Am I louder now? Everybody said yes. Okay, cool. So how did this get birthed into form, this container? Yeah. I have been wanting to teach mantra, a workshop or anything about mantra. I wanted to do a YouTube series, like years. This is years in the making, legit, right? It's a quality of, God, there's so much. We all have things that we want in our hearts. We all have these things that we're like, oh, I'm yearning for this. But then we get lost in that, like, the yearning for it. Yeah. Like we get lost in the like, oh, and that's not, and I got stuck. I'll just tell you. I got stuck in a lot of my life of like, but it's not looking like this. It doesn't look like, I want it to look like this version of that. And if it doesn't look like this version of that, then it's not happening and I'm upset about it in some way. I feel like I just shifted out of that and the gateway that we all just kind of went through collectively in like a different vibration. My assistant, she's my assistant right now. She's playing my assistant as a role, but she's really a law of attraction coach. That's what she's gonna do. And so she's talking about cultivating an energy of, well, what if it looks like this, and committing to these things. And there's this energy of law of attraction that I always was like kind of like snarky about, like, well, it's just, you're just like saying like things that aren't true, you know? Like you're just like not like focused. Okay, circle back to mantra, right? Mantra ropes you, like the practice of speaking to the universe ropes you to that pure potentiality where anything is actually possible. And I want you guys to be in that question in yourself too. Like this is a part of the transmission. This is the intergalactic transmission that I couldn't write down on the, like make a course about, because it's something that I'm just like stepping into now, but it's like actually here. It's actually true. Anything is really possible. And when I hear that out there on like an Instagram thing or like Abraham Hicks, I'm just like, ah, whatever. But like, it has to do with trust and like receiving that whatever is here now and is whatever is showing up is also beautiful. So it's a deep yes and to the universe. And even just me saying that, like I just saw 3 of you sigh, like when I said that. So like there's this beautiful dance between, like, I'll show you for a moment. Oh my goodness. Okay. I wrote on this piece of paper in 2018 on the solstice in the summer. 2017 was one of the darkest shadow years of my whole existence. It was a deep, like, it was like the dark night of the soul year, the whole year. And I wrote on this paper in 2018, my life purposes as I know them. Number 1 is mantra. And number 2 is meditation, and the list goes on. Pictures, words, all these things to be a teacher. I found this over there and I was like, bring this into the space because it's like, it's a manifestation, right? It's 2 years later, you know, that I'm teaching a course on this. And if I can share anything, it's that sometimes we know things way before they're here. And the ache of them not showing up is like huge. But when we hold the vision of knowing that they're here, they're really truly here. They're here in the unmanifest. They're here in this potential reality. They're here. And my whole being can relax because I know that they're coming. I think this is what the people who have learned abundance, like some of my teachers, like Preston Smiles, Marianne Williamson, like people who have been my guides, like I think I'm finally starting to grok like what resting into my own power is, and taking steps towards that, knowing that it's already here. It took me so long. I'm a very old soul, as some of you guys can know. And like, while I was going to those ayahuasca ceremonies and in my 20s, I was like banging on the door, being like, why isn't it happening? Why won't you open? And I remember my guides like telling me, it's already here, it's already here, it's already in you. Yeah. And trusting that whatever shows up is meant to is a whole nother part of this. Like, the women who are coming into the circle, you guys all have a very specific vibration. It's all very perfect. And I think I'm just starting to like remove my consciousness from lack, lead me from away from the darkness into the light, and have me focus on what is actually true and what is actually here, and like begin to take that journey of like bringing my presence, my attention, and my gratitude into like what is fully here. And even if it looks small in comparison to another's journey, to like trust that like for my soul this is perfect and everything will be taken care of, and I can take those steps bit by bit. That intent, and like in turn it cultivates this frequency, and in that frequency more comes, or more, or it does, you know what it is, it's that you lose your attachment to outcomes. And that's something that Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita like straight up tells Arjuna. He's like, yo, by the way, like give the fruits of all of your actions to me. Like just do things that you feel intuitively guided to do, and like don't focus on the result. And for all of us in the social media game, some of us who are here, don't focus on numbers, don't focus on da-da-da. You do your soul dharma mission, you follow your intuition. It's really important. I feel like I see into some of your energies where I'm like, I can know that this is really a good message for you, that like trusting without the need for logic, trusting without the need for results, reflecting validation, all of these things. This is what I want to invite all of us into as we ask for the Asato mantra to work its magic on us. Lead me from ignorance to truth, from death to immortality, from the unreal to the real. Because all of that, all of those things that we're focused on over here, that's all unreal. That's all temporary. It all changes. It goes away. What is true is your soul. Okay, I feel complete on all of that teaching. I want to give you guys moments to share now and speak. So I'm going to do like, we're going to do like 2 minutes. If I do 2 minutes for everybody, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, perfect. May 18. So yeah, that's plenty of time. 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, that's good. What else I got planned? Just let me check. Yeah, and then we can do 10 minutes of closing. I felt my wheel was perfect. Awesome. Okay, so you are now going around the circle. Does everybody have like carry me? How do you say your name? Milana?
Milana, yeah.
Okay, cool, perfect. Is that the order that you all are for you each other?
I'm not sure. I don't see any order, so I'll just flow. I can go first, or I can jump in.
You want to go first? Rylan wants to jump in. All right, girl, go for it. So
Hey,
wait, you don't know
y'all.
the prompt. The prompt is, what is what you saw in the email? Like, what is the call in your heart that brought you here? Can you put yourself on camera or no?
Yeah, I don't have the best hey, service in my kitchen, but can you guys see me?
Yeah, welcome.
Okay. Hi. So hi everybody. I'm on Michelle's team and I'm so happy to be here. But other than being on Michelle's team, I am really glad to be here personally, because I definitely have a calling to do some throat chakra opening. And I think ever since I was a child, as many of us have been through trauma, etc. And I locked a lot of that in my throat. And that has presented itself in instances of me being very uncomfortable speaking. And it's weird because I'll have like super, super deep connections with people. And like, I don't feel weird speaking right now, but sometimes if I'm in one of those retreats around a campfire and they're like, hey, introduce yourself, like that's like one of my worst nightmares. So I even remember being in my yoga teacher training where they made all of us sound out an om as a teacher. And mine was like the shakiest. I was just not embodied in my voice at all. And I never understood why. I attributed it just to like nervousness and anxiety. But you know, through my healing journey in more recent years, I understand it's like all part of my process. And it's probably one of my things to transmute, because underneath that, like, I have such a beautiful voice and message and spirit within me that wants to emerge. And I'm very sensitive. So I think that aspect of me was wounded, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a matter of like healing. And I think being in this container is going to very specifically help me with the throat. So that is my calling. And yes, as Michelle was saying, very into law of attraction as well. Michelle, you said something where, like, you know, you can choose to know something is coming. You can just as easily choose to decide that it's not coming. And that can be our default. So if you can just as easily choose that it's not here, you can just as easily choose that it is here. Like, reality is what you make it. And it sounds so ethereal because you're lying to yourself, but it's just a matter of your perspective. And shape shifting and quantum shifting and like all that stuff is a much deeper conversation, but it's something that I'm very passionate about.
Gorgeous. Beautiful. Thank you. Who would like to go next? I'm gonna call on you guys. I don't even, this is just happening. Okay. Just go speak.
Hello, all. So I think I'm the featured Canadian. We'll say that. I think everybody else is American. So if I have an accent, please don't make too much fun of me. I'm also called here to open my throat chakra and speak. It's definitely, there's been decades of suppression, and it goes back to childhood, perhaps before. I'm been enjoying Michelle's presence in 3 of the feminine courses we've been in, just by chance, like, you again, and again, there she is. So there was just something that when I saw her video launch, and she was down by the river, that's where I live, is down by the river. It's like, okay, wait a minute here, I've got to pay more attention. So this really called me in. And how curious, I was in India the day that the week they were preparing for the Ganesh festival in one of the states. So it was lovely. I spent a beautiful afternoon with an older gentleman. He drove the tuk-tuk that took me around, and he made sure that I met his wife, also an older lady, stringing flowers to celebrate Ganesh. So it was a huge festival, very, very important sacred time for them. And I just, I will always regret that I carried on with my journey rather than staying and celebrating with this beautiful couple. Anyway, they're with me in my spirit. I still think of them. I see them very clearly. So this is wonderful to be with the elephants. Elephants have quite a history, actually, in my life.
If anybody wants to, this is like I'm speaking to everyone. If everyone wants to double dip, and like, I'll send the Ganesha mantra I played today, then you guys can Asatoma and Ganesh, and you just like can do it all up. So
Lovely. So thank you.
thank you. Next person. This is my cat. For those of you who don't know, his name is Seek. He's Lauren, did you have your hand raised? Did you want to go?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited for this course. Michelle, your presence. I think what drew me to this was how excited you are about little creatures and the earth. And of course, I would like to deepen my knowledge of Shakti rising. I'm reading about Chinnamasta right now and the identity of I self. And I definitely think, would like to have more presence in my voice and embrace my inner child with more grace and empower my voice in singing and speaking in groups like this. It scares the shit out of me, and it still does, but I love it. And I love meeting people like you all who are healers and have special gifts in this world. And I was activated by Shiva a couple of years ago in my dark night of the soul, and a lot of karmic patterns had to be released this year, and it's been a wild ride, but I think this will really help. And it's so lovely to meet everyone.
I can't wait till we chant the Shiva mantras. We have like 2 or 3 Shiva mantras because he's my homeboy. They don't make a sticker like that. Shiva is my homeboy. Who would like to speak next? Okay, Kristen.
I'm very grateful to be here with all of you, beautiful, amazing souls. This is a truly sacred space. For myself, being called to share this just energy with like-minded souls is always so important to me, but definitely, of course, working on the throat chakra healings. And I adore Michelle's videos of singing. I always feel so much healing and just energetic space within those videos. And so I'm really looking forward to get a chance to embody that and be able to share that in my own space. I've been working through probably one of the largest transformations of my life. So I'm really grateful to just be able to share and work through this and transform. And I really liked Ryland used the word shape shifting. Like it really is kind of like a shedding of the old and the stepping into the new, and being in this space of really being able to embody the energies that be while focusing with intention, utilizing mantras and sharing this energy with you all. So I'm grateful to be here, and I'm looking forward to healing with each and every one of you. Thank you, Michelle.
I hope that you guys can take these into your own practices when you teach and help heal people, in your lives. I think that's a really beautiful. I hope that's a gateway for you guys to share mantras in your own way. Okay, next. Carrie, Tara? Okay, go. Yeah, Tara.
Hi guys, so nice to meet you all. When Ryland spoke, I was like, oh my God, who's gonna follow that? which made me realize exactly what she said. It's the throat chakra. I'm like, can I just be quiet and not say anything? I have a history of being shy and not really liking or wanting to speak in front of groups. And then when I want to speak in front of the groups, I'm like, or when it's my turn, I'm like, oh, I have nothing to say. So I feel like that is definitely probably that suppression of the voice. And I do feel this year a lot of that wanting to come out. And I really felt the mantra calling to me, and I've been listening to mantras for the last month or two, nonstop. But Michelle, when you did your introduction to this mantra medicine, it was really calling to me and to my heart. And it was so beautiful. And I thought, wow, I want to connect so much with my intuition and what lies beneath and what's been suppressed. And I feel like prayer and ritual and mantra is a way to do that. And to exactly do that, to unearth what's beneath and really touch it. And that's what I want. And I don't know what this shyness is, or I read the questions last night. I'm like, oh yeah, I know. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what that is besides shyness, or just, I don't know, something I want to let go of and release and grow from. So I loved hearing all of your stories so far. I look forward to meeting and knowing you better. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, I wanted to say a couple of things. One of them is you guys are all going to get to practice in your own unique ways. I'm going to give you the tool, and you guys get to make it your own, which I just saw that visually when you just spoke, and I'm like, that's so beautiful. The second thing is I love that everybody's sharing their relationship to their voice. Is just awesome, because that was really one of the questions, but I didn't ask that, but that's so important. And there was one more thing, scratching the surface, knowing and bringing out being in relationship. So sometimes the thing that's keeping us stuck and we don't know what it is, and I was just listening to Carolyn Mace, and she was saying it's actually a detriment when you're like, why is this and why is that? It's just like, just be in relationship with it and use it as an energy. And maybe, and something that some of my clients have heard me say is something that I learned from Ram Dass, which is like, he did all the things. He had a legit guru, like in person. And he said that he never lost any of his neuroses through his whole life. He just built a different relationship to them. They just got smaller. And he was like, he was able to like move for presence. I was on a discovery call the other day with a woman she's so nervous about committing. She's so a yes to the container with me, and she's so nervous about committing, and so identified with the wound. Yeah. And I said, okay, for a moment, just do an embodiment practice with me and step to the side of you. Do you feel the part of you that's grounded? Can you see the part of you that's wounded? And she was like, I can. I was like, okay, it's just a leaning. So like that part that's like, ugh, might never go away. I still have ego things that come up when I'm in circles with people. I'm just like, ooh, it's like a contraction. But then I breathe and then I move toward the other thing. It's true. It's true. It's true. And I'm just like, that's ugly thought. Let's not go there, you know? So anyway, okay. Who else? Who else? Who else?
You go next.
Okay.
Okay, well, hi everybody. My name is Milana. My biggest thing coming into this space and what I am struggling with immensely is the integration of feminine, masculine, and the other type of thing. I identify as non-binary, but it depends on the day what I feel like. Like some days I'm like super feminine, and then other days I'm like, yeah, let's go bro out. So it really depends on the day and what I'm doing, and I like who I'm with, and like kind of like the space I'm healing in as well, because I consider myself a healer. And I don't necessarily like practice anything, but I do know that like my presence helps others. And so I kind of like deliver the energy that that person needs type of thing, which I recognize as a gift, but it's very, I don't understand it. So it makes it difficult for me, type of thing. And I grew up under a very oppressive, masculine, narcissistic father and a disempowered mother. So energies are confusing when you have to go, okay, so what's masculine and what's feminine? I'm like, can't they just be? And just felt, but then when you try to get into relationships, then it gets confusing. And so that's really my biggest struggle right now, is finding that, I don't know, suspension within it all, and then just like working with it. It was interesting because like I've always been a lot, like I've been drawn a lot more to masculine energies, even though I've had the most abuse from them. But I've like came into this space because of a masculine energy. Like I don't know, Michelle, if you know Josh, I can't remember what his last name is, but he works with Vibio, and we are like old friends from like 4 or 5 years ago, and then reconnected. And he like literally the first thing he said, he's like, you have to meet this woman. Like, I don't know why, but you have to meet this woman. And I struggle a lot with femininity because I grew up having to be masculine because of our household, but I'm female by gender. And so I naturally, my body aligns with that energy. So it's like, it's everywhere. So that's my biggest thing that I'm working on.
Do you want to know something I believe? Look, I just asked permission, even though I made fun of it earlier. Do you want to know something I believe about something that you said?
Yes.
When I started as a healer, I didn't know. When I went to my first ayahuasca ceremony, I was like, oh, this is what I've been doing my whole life with energy and sound anyway. But like now I have a thing where it's an example of like how they actually use it for healing. Because I was like, wow, I do energy work. It just got birthed out of me, yeah, like through my intuitive readings. Like I was just something that I just did, and I was never trained. So I believe that we are given karmically exactly the right recipe for what we are to bring healing to on the planet. And there are a ton of other souls who are out there in the same similar conversation. And if you're a healer and you're making sense of these energies and having them move through you, because that's the thing, is like we're in feminine bodies, masculine bodies, da 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 da. We're souls. If we're healer spirit souls, we're given certain things. I was given a patriarchal father and a gypsy intuitive mother who was also disempowered, and this is what you've seen me online talk about in my work. So many other people are given those same wounds. So then we embody them, transmute them, bring healing to them, and then co-creatively like repair those frequencies. So everything you're making sense of is like in service to the higher. And please continue to ask questions about that and the masculine, feminine, because this is like legit. Like each week where I did masculine, feminine, and then I went deep with feminine actually. It goes Gayatri, Adi Shakti. So we went to like universal mother to primal mother, because like that's my bad. Like I like that. I'm down with the well. She also has kicked my ass because ayahuasca, I believe, is a primal feminine spirit. Yeah, some of you are like, yes, she is. And so that's also where she's not nice to me. She's been like, just like, girl, you better recognize, like, that's how that is, you know? And I have today's my father's birthday. I kept getting to do the course on this day, and I almost didn't because it was my father's birthday. And I was like, well, I don't want to be or whatever. But I did it, and I sent him a sweet text this morning and all the things. But my doorway to God is through Shiva, is through the masculine. So you'll hear it when I chant, you'll hear that. It's just like, so it's a beautiful thing how each of us have different archetypal relationships with the masculine, the feminine, these deities, these chants, these gateways to the divine, how they weave channels within our own being, and then how we are accessing to the infinite and our relationship to all that is because of it, and like what we're learning and what we're healing and what we're growing through, what we teach, what we share. So thanks for bringing that, because that was a nice download for everyone to be. So I'm so happy to just, so good. Okay, next people, thank you so much. Carrie, yeah? I can't hear you now.
Sorry. So I delayed because I'm also super shy. I hate, I have these on so that I could hear. There's something wrong with sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So I actually heard about this course at the last minute from Michelle, the other Michelle. And I was doing I signed up for, I don't know if anyone's heard of the Gene Keys. Like I started doing the Gene Keys, and yeah, some people know. And in my purpose, frequency and voice is like really important. And Michelle told me about it at exactly the moment that I found that out. And I felt like, oh, whoa, this is really, I can't believe how synchronistic this is. And so that's how I came here. I feel shy about my voice. I think that in some instances I'm really, I do speak my mind, but I'm shy by nature. So it's confusing to me if I don't think I have a block here, only in like public speaking situations, but I would like to work on that. This whole time I'm like sweating, like not wanting, I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk. But yeah, I can feel all the sweet community energy, and I'm so excited to get to meet everyone and be a part of the group and be in this community. So thank you.
My honor. Thank you for trusting us and the frequency of that, happening, and I'm curious to, and I don't think you might know the answer yet, but I want you to imagine over this next 6 weeks, like, what does that mean for your specific path? If you are a keeper of frequency, like, what does that look like? Like, do you know what that is yet? I think that's
I know that I didn't mention that I have always loved mantras. Like I do Kundalini yoga, and that is my favorite part. And and I'll listen to it, and when I do Om chants, and when I do Qigong, and when I do Qigong sound healing, I get lots of transformations. So it just, when I saw it on paper, it just made sense to me that, yeah.
I'm gonna be curious. Yeah, and the Kundalini mantras, we're not practicing those, but they're heavenly, like legit. And yeah, I would love to hear about when we do, as we go on during the weeks and we're sharing, you know, in the space of these calls, like the energetic transformations that you experience in your body, in your energy body, and what that looks like for you, and your relationship to what this might mean. Because as the gene keys, as I understand them, it's like your life path, like your purpose. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's what I'm curious about, is like, what does that mean for you?
And
What's
that
the
the
relationship
gene
there?
key, sorry to interrupt you, the
Uh-huh.
gene key in that which came out, it is my purpose. It's like, I have it somewhere. Where is it? Oh, well, I'll have to show you another time, but
Maybe
it's
you'll
like,
end up being a sound healer. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I can't wait to learn more about that. I'm just learning about the gene keys myself. So thank you.
you.
Sarah? Are you there?
Thank you for calling on me.
You're welcome.
There we go. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're a little choppy, but you're good.
Oh, no, okay. Well, hopefully I can get my message across. Hi, I'm Sarah. I actually, so I met Michelle, now it's been a few months, but I knew I had to work with her after I met her. I had this experience of, she did a meditation with us, doing some chakra work, and I could literally feel the sound moving my chakras. It was the most wild experience I've ever had, but I knew at that moment I have to work with her, connected with her. How do I work with you? The course came up. Yep, I'm working one-on-one, doing the course. Yep, I'm doing all the things, because I just knew, like, if you've ever seen The Matrix.
Oh, we lost her. That was cool. Here she comes. That was so dope. If you've ever seen The Matrix, and then she left. That I can't. I think it's self-explanatory. I mean,
Oh my goodness. Can you
that
hear
was
me okay
epic.
now?
Yeah,
Am I
Sarah,
back?
you're still choppy, but like you just mentioned The Matrix, and
Okay.
then you glitched out of the call and then came back. Like I
Mhm.
can't even right now. It was good.
And we've had this experience before.
This is
So,
amazing. Oh yeah, that's right,
um,
on the call. That's right.
anyway, well, I hope you can hear me now. I'll try to make it short since it's being choppy,
Why
but
don't you shut your video
I'm
off?
also,
Here, shut your video
oh,
off
good
so
idea.
your bandwidth will be better, so you can just speak.
Okay, I'll try now. Hopefully that's better.
Okay.
I just resonate really strongly with everybody really about the throat chakra. That's definitely something that over the last probably year I've really noticed is something that I want to work on, because I know there's
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like it's everything. Sometimes when there's truth, like on my calls, like what she was talking about is like if we're hitting a nexus on a call. I was on a one-on-one with her, and it was like a 10-minute gap before our calls could connect again on Zoom. And I was like, that means something. And so I won't go into the specifics, the details of the call, but it was like it's amazing that that happens, and it might happen here where like I'll be like very ceremonial toning a bowl or something, and it'll be like it's interesting how spirit plays with it. So we'll have Sarah share again next time, or share in the Telegram group, which I will type to her. You can share in the group. So Telegram is an app that you guys can download. I'll mention it in the email. Technically, we have 7 more minutes of this call. I want to give you guys the space to ask questions. Do you guys mind going like 5 minutes over? Is that cool with everybody if we're just like 5 minutes over? Okay, cool. And because I want to do a closing mantra. So for a lot of you, we're talking about your relationship to your voice. So this is a time for you guys to ask any questions, and maybe I can do something intuitively that can like help, because a lot of you kind of had that same theme. So does anyone want to present a particular question around? Yeah, go ahead, Kristen. She's like, yes, I do.
I was waiting for it. No, yeah, absolutely. I would love to know, when I'm doing mantras, I noticed that although like the intention is there, it's clear, but it's just not earthy, I guess is the best way. Like it's not grounded. What suggestions might you have to kind of bring that tone in condensed, if that makes any sense?
There's the joke answer, and then there's going to be like a practice that we'll do right now. And this is a great suggestion, just so you guys can play with when you guys are chanting from different places in your body. So let's do one, let's just do 2 syllables. Asatoma, right? Asatoma. Easy peasy, yeah? Asatoma. Okay. From your legs, say asatoma. From your, like if your legs were talking. Or let's not even do the mantra. Let's just do an ah. Let's do an ah. Do an ah from the top of your head. Do an ah from the third eye. From your lips. From your nose. From your left ear. So it's awkward. You gotta get it in the left ear. Who can follow me? Now this is a skill. This is something I do the chakra meditations, yeah? I did hard parts, I think on purpose. I just do what I do intuitively. I think it was on purpose. Because it's hard, right? So if I did from your belly, like do an ah from your belly. Ah, ah, ah. For me, that's super accessible. Ah. Some people have, by the way, in their chakras, we carry trauma. So if you have trauma in certain chakras, it's not that you have the trauma in the chakra, it's that the imprint of the trauma has been stored in the chakra. Because there's certain relationships that these chakras have to different parts of our lives, different elemental qualities like earth, air, etc. Or just, let me just tell you, the subtle body is just like crazy, tricky, and amazing. So like I'll like feel like in a subtle energy session, I'll be like, oh, like my mom like is under my armpit. You know what I mean? Like about that. So it's really quite unique what can show up where. So sometimes there's a correlation logically, sometimes there's not. Who could not yoke together the sound that they were doing and the body part? Who was like not able to do that? Who, like, you can't feel? So when I'm saying like belly, sing out of your belly. Can you, who is like, I can't move my awareness to my body part? It's new. It could be new for you. I feel like you're getting it though. Who needs more explanation on that? Does everybody feel that? Who can feel their body parts? Who can feel their body parts? Yeah, awesome. Sarah, you can if you're not on the video, so I can't see you, but Sarah, you can type in the chat if you can or cannot. So I know if you need explanation, feel free to butt in, even though I feel it. She said, I feel it. Awesome, fantastic. And Ryland, if you want to too, you can do the same thing. So you can feel, this is a big thing, and I know because I knew who was coming to the call. I was like, oh my God, everybody's so like beautifully primed. I like working with people who are very intuitive. Even some of you are like, I don't know if I am intuitive, but I know that you are. I told you, I see into you. I know that you have these capacities, whether you're here because you're practicing, acknowledging and practicing like the muscle training of being in the capacities. So step 1 is feeling your body and then bringing the voice, the actual voice or the sound or the intention into that chakra point, into that body point. And then it just becomes the joke answer I was going to say to your, so you're like, how do I go lower? It's like grounding. Grounding is the answer to everything. And so just for a moment with me, imagine your root chakras, feel the part of your body, your tailbone that's on the earth. And just with your breath, not with your voice, but just with your breath for a moment, imagine as you exhale that your roots go down deeper. So inhale and exhale, send your roots down. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale. And then exhale, send your roots down. Inhale. And exhale, send down your roots. So down, 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 down deep into the earth. Really feel them land. When we do this, this takes a long time, by the way, to master. I was doing this before I was on this call today's session, and I had to ground, and by grounding, I shook off this call that I was on previously. And I said to myself, there was a time in my spiritual energetic journey where I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to take the energy in my body, send it down, and ground it. I actually needed the help of another healer, another energy person to help me do that. I couldn't do that because I was going through a journey where I was so psychically sensitive that I was like almost like a garbage, cosmic garbage person. I was like collecting all the energies around me. But now I'm resilient and I know how to manage my energetic body. So now let's do that 3 more times, but we're going to do it with sound. So we're going to inhale, and you're going to sound all the way down, down deep into the earth and the roots. And you may feel resistance, like your voice may skip or crack, or it may not be as easy to get it all the way down. But that's something that you too can practice. And then I also want to introduce one more visualization, and it's width. So it's not just straight down, it's wide. When you imagine a volcano, again, this Shakti energy, this feminine energy, which I'm so glad we spoke, because now I'm going to like be this invitational feminine, because it's like we're healing our relationship so that we can be both. Because I thought when I was in these John Wineland containers, I thought I was like super masculine essence, because I'm so freaking all the time. It's such a dance and we're both all the time. It's so amazing. So when you imagine a volcano, this majestic, wild, lava-filled, saturated power comes up from the bottom of the earth, the core of the earth, comes up through your roots, and then you can sound from the earth energy. So imagine the lava bubbling up, and then draw a sound up from the root and out through the voice. So let's do that together. Deep breath. And now let's do it down. So we're inhaling and we're sending the energy down. So now just check in and feel where you feel. There's like a tube, so remember the metaphor of the 2 snakes? Where they cross is the central channel. It's called the Sushumna. It's an energetic channel, a portal from the root chakra all the way to the crown and beyond the crown. Kundalini, you guys know this. It's like all of these are our energetic body. We're going to be singing through the energetic body. So when you ask, how do I lower? It's this imagining the Sushumna. And Tara, were you saying that it was resting in your heart? What were you pointing to your heart for?
Like it was when I was trying to push it down, it was getting stuck.
Perfect. You're not
Here.
you're not used to You're not used to this practice yet. This is going to be something that I would invite you to do. So not only as you do the Asatosh Ma, for you specifically, I want to give you an intention of not doing it from here. I can see in your, this is one of my gifts, is seeing energy. I could see you doing this practice, and it's here. It's in your sixth chakra, very overactive here, very analytical. I'm doing it. See if you can do it from the heart, and then if it goes lower, great. If you can do it from the belly in the womb, if you're in the bathtub one night and you've got the chants going and you can feel it in your belly, awesome. If you can feel it in your legs, awesome. If all it does is the heart, then that's what's ready for right now. Maybe it just wants to be sun here. Just like I talked about with relationship to law of attraction and what is here and what is not here, there's no wrong, and whatever is happening is probably what's supposed to happen. So I think that's a really important thing, because I think as coaches and people who are into transformational work, we're always like trying to improve ourselves. I would love to create a safe space, a temple, where we are really present to whatever is happening in our energetic body, and we are a yes to all of it. Like, whatever is here, okay, this is a heart, great. It's not happening in my legs. Maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe it's ancestral, maybe we're not ready to go there yet, that's fine. It's like, there's no rush. Okay, so we are 5 minutes over, so now I'm gonna close, unless there's any other questions, and then I'm gonna just wrap up and do a beautiful, we'll do one more chant. We'll do, I wanted to read to you something, and then I'll close with this chant. And then if you have alternate questions, you guys can ask in the Telegram group, and I'm going to write you an email right now, send that out to you, and then you're going to get all these cool videos, which I'm nerdily excited about sharing with you. And I hope that you like them as much as I do, because I feel like a geek because I'm so excited. But before I go into the closing, does anybody have a burning desire to share anything? Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I just had one more question. So once we receive the video and we know what we're going to do for the week and study and chant, if we have any questions, should we ask each other in the Telegram group, or can we DM you?
If it's like a private question that you don't want anybody else to know, you can DM me. If it's a question that like is a good for the collective energy in the space, share it in the group. And because like you have that question, then I answer it in the group, or somebody else like wants to talk. I don't care. It's like it could be a free for all. We could all share different things. It's be wonderful if that is. But yeah, feel free. But if there's something personal and private that you want to ask me that like you're nervous about sharing in public, of course you can message me. I am here for you. Any other thoughts before I just want to share this one thing? Look at my giant bottle of water. I bought this. This is my commitment. Each day I'm going to drink 2 liters of water. It's a new thing. Self-care, chanting mantras and drinking crazy amounts of water. Okay. Has anyone heard the mantra, which I found out today is one of the 4 great sayings of the Upanishads? This was playing in my head, and I was like, I need to tell them this. I need to tell them that. Aham Brahmasmi. Do you have anyone of you guys heard this? Deepak Chopra is big on this mantra. So when he leads meditations, he talks about this. I'm going to attach screenshots of Wikipedia or I'll put the link so you guys can have what I'm about to read to you. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. In the beginning, this world was just a single body. Atman, shaped like a man. He looked around and saw nothing but himself. The first thing he said was, "Here I am," and from that the I came into being. Now the question is raised, since people think that they will become whole by knowing Brahman, which is the I. I'm going to have a different definition of Brahman. Since people think that they will become whole by knowing Brahman, which is it's a representation of the Godhead. It's the sustainer force. No, it's the creative force. It's the creative force. What did Brahman know that enabled it to become whole? In the beginning, this world was only Brahman. It knew only itself, Atman, which is the soul, thinking, I am Brahman. As a result, it became the whole. If a man knows I am Brahman in this way, he becomes the whole world. Not even the gods are able to prevent it. Therefore, he becomes their very self. I hope you guys are following this. If not, I'm going to explain in a second. Aham is literally I. Brahma is ever full or whole, but it's also the creative force of the universe. It's also one of the three aspects of God. There's Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. We're going to have a chant to them later. Vishnu's the sustainer, Brahma's the creator, and Shiva's the destroyer. It's like everything, there's like a trinity always aspect. So Aham Brahmasmi means I am the absolute, or my identity is cosmic. That's the part that I wanted you guys to hear. But it could also be translated as, you are a part of God, just like any other element. So, I want us to just speak. Aham, I'm going to do the little drone. And I just want us to speak 3 times. It's aham, so aham, brahmasmi. Aham, aham, brahmasmi. And then you go. So we'll do a call and response. I'll do 3. I think I'll do 3. Aham brahmasmi. Now you. Aham brahmasmi. Aham brahmasmi. Good. One more time. Aham brahmasmi. Now you. Aham brahmasmi. I'm going to tone just a bit. And think of that. Think of I am a part of God. I am a part of God just like any other. And if you want to tone in your own space along with me, please do that. And you can place it wherever in your body that you choose. Aham brahmasmi. Aham brahmasmi. Aham brahmasmi. Aham brahmasmi. last thing I want to share with you guys is the harmonium does help, but that space of silence, you know, at a kirtan, a traditional kirtan, they would chant and sing and clap and get very loud, Om Namah Shivaya, Hare Krishna, da 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 da. And then as the chant is done, there's a pause. There's a space of silence. And it's almost like you have a different relationship with silence at the end of a chant. Silence becomes spacious. It becomes a place. It's like you can pay more reverence to it, or see, and it's like a being that we are present to when we're in this frequency of chanting and sound, allowing the alchemy of sound to move through us, and then there's silence. It's like that. That's the manifest, the sound, the song, yeah. And then the silence, the unmanifest. This is what birthed everything, yes. But it was that combination of the feminine, the Shakti, and the masculine. And so I invite you to worship your relationship to both. And so as you chant and as you play and as you pray, you're attuned to, in the silence I receive the message. In the song I receive the message. You know, what speaks to you? What is that? Aho. It was such a gift and an honor, and I am enchanted by each of you, and thank you for this gracious opportunity that I get to serve and share the gifts of my heart with all of you souls. And I am here for you. I'm here for you, and I will send you an email with all of the details for you guys to sync up into our group for the next 6 weeks. Thank you for conjuring this new beginning with me. It's a new beginning just in the cosmos, and so I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you so much. And I'll be sending the recording once I upload it to YouTube. So, all love. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. You can say bye. I could play music again or something. Bye. I'll send you this song too. Yay. Okay. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Aho. Jai Ganesha Jai, Jai Ganesha Jai. Jai is victory. Jai. So you can say to each other, Jai. People do that all the time, like when they do Jai. Jai. Okay. I love you guys. Bye.